It's more about the things you're going to not do than it is about the thing that you're going to do.
Are you cast away and shipwrecked? Sadly, far too many people fall into this category. These are people who are disillusioned, maybe depressed. Their hearts sinking as they walk into yet another day at the office or whatever place of work you're at. And the problem is that you're so entrenched in this mindset that you just accept what you've got. You stagnate and you stay where you are. You're doing what your education, your grades will allow you. You've got a good job maybe, but it's not fulfilling you. It's paying the bills, but you don't think about clarity or purpose. It's not necessarily the case that these people don't think about what's meaningful to them ever. It's just more likely that they assume that what they've got, the job, the commute, the habit of going home to sit in front of the TV, is what's meaningful to them. They don't really push their boundaries. Instead of the attitude of, let me make my best, they just make the best of what they've got.
Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. People look at their past to decide who they are. People look at their past to decide who they can be. But the problem is, oftentimes, people mistake difficulties, suffering, pain for being bad, being less than, being broken, and it erodes their sense of self-esteem. It erodes their sense of self-worth. But nothing could be more opposite from the truth, because in reality, no matter what you've gone through, no matter how hard it was, all of it was shaping you into the person that you can become. The hardships, the difficulties, the pain, the suffering, all of that makes you tougher. It is literally in the difficulties that you begin to find just how much you're capable of. It's in the suffering that you find out how resilient you are. It's in the pain that you can rise up and get tough. And all of that is going to serve you as you move forward, but you have to know how to frame it. You have to know how to think about it. You have to know that whatever you've been through, that all of it is an opportunity to learn. All of it is an opportunity to grow. All of it is an opportunity to get better, but you have to use it to shape yourself. You have to lean into it. You have to know that the pain and the suffering, all of it is serving you. But if you're telling yourself a story that diminishes you, if you're telling yourself a story that bad things have happened to me, or I've done bad things and that makes me a bad person, then none of it is going to help you. And you're always going to move backwards. And it's going to be this stress and this pressure that's pushing you backwards. Instead, if you could put it behind you, said it pushes you forward, it propels you to be more, then no matter what's happened to you, you can become something truly extraordinary. And as David Livingstone said, I'll go anywhere, provided it be forward. So even when you're making mistakes, even when you're falling down, if in that you can see that it's an opportunity, it's a lesson, it's something that you've learned, even when you're running and you stumble and you trip and you scrape yourself all across the pavement, you're still moving forward. As long as you get back up, dust yourself off and keep going. It doesn't matter that you fell. It doesn't matter that you embarrassed yourself. It doesn't matter that you made a mistake or that you look stupid. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is how do you think about it? Do you let it be something that moves you backwards? Or do you recognize at least it was momentum, at least you were going, at least you tried, at least you were putting your energy into something, at least you were willing to take a risk? And that's where most people fail. They're never willing to put themselves out there because they don't see the momentum, they don't see the forward movement, they only see the failure. It really is that easy, and I know that you've heard this 1,000 times, and I know that people are telling you all the time that failure is a part of the learning process. But so is the voice that says you're a fuck-up. So is the voice that tells you that you're unworthy. But it's up to you to decide to ignore that voice. It's up to you to prove that voice wrong. It's up to you to love yourself. And yes, I know that's easier said than done. And yes, I know each and every one of us has to do things to be worthy of loving ourselves. We have to take that leap of faith. We have to be willing to look at our inadequacies. We have to be willing to get up and do ourselves a service. We have to be willing to serve ourselves. And you do owe yourself that. And you do have to take action. And you do have to be proactive. But if you do that, You don't need extraordinary accomplishments. You just need to know that you're trying. You need to know that when you fall, you're going to get back up. You need to know that you'll keep pushing forward. You need to know that you won't give up.
There's a reason. I want to make sure you understand the reason. The reason why you matter is because you'll never have, you'll never be, you'll never do. You are powerful beyond measure. Your daddy wasn't in your life. Your mother wasn't in your life. I don't know. You didn't have a mentor. I don't know. But you may have never heard someone look you in your eye, look you in your soul, and tell you that you not only matter, you're powerful. I want you to take your life to a whole nother level. I want you not only to understand you matter, I want you to go in that mirror and say, I matter. You can't activate life. You can't begin to experience life in the way you want to experience. You can't have it. You can't be it. You can't do it until you activate it. It's all in there. All your gifts, all your talents, everything you need to do to be what you've been called to do, what you've been birthed to do. You can't do until you activate it, until you recognize you matter. You're powerful beyond measure.
You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. The point is, every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? If you don't fail, you're not even trying. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did.
You want to know why most people can never get anywhere in life? Why most people never live, never experience, never build, never do anything worthwhile in life? You know why? Because most people's egos are so inflated and so fragile that they won't allow people to see them be bad at something. You've never done something before. You expect yourself to be awesome at it. You haven't done the work. You haven't put in the time. You haven't put in the study hours. You haven't had the experience, but you expect to be good. And because you expect to be good, but you know you're not going to be good, you don't do anything.
I want your dream to be so clear, so vivid, right? That when you wake up in the morning, all you got to do is step in your dream. Only thing that's going to get you up out that bed, the only thing that's going to make you strive past that obstacle, get past that brick wall and coming. The only thing that's going to make you get up and do what you're supposed to do is what you see. When you wake up in the morning, look at your goals going to tell you what time to get up. Your goals going to tell you who you should be hanging out with.
People are going to laugh at you. People are going to point at you. People are going to make fun of you. But if you understand that losing and getting laughed at and all these things, and you understand how to use those things to improve and get better, you're going to have the last fucking laugh.
Just close your eyes until you're 29. Just close your eyes until you're 29. Because when you see regret in a man's eyes, it's fucking painful. Because you can't do shit about it. When you're 90 and you're not mobile and you're tired and it's over, you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't build that company you wanted. You can't spend that time with your kid. It's regret. And it fucking drives the shit out of me. No, look, I think failure has to be quantified. If you fail that you never can get up from it again, that's not a good failure. I think failure and adversity are the two things I think about. For me, as an entrepreneur and very entrepreneurial and always in my own stuff, all the failures along the way, even going back to like the baseball card show when I was 13 and I paid $400 for a table and nobody showed up to that baseball card show. That was a learning lesson. Those micro failures were super, super important. I think, it depends on your stomach, right? Like if you really fail, like go out of business, I think people take one of two ways, right? They're like just finished and they're never able to get off the mat and they go in a different direction. So to me, I think quantifying the failure is important to me. They gotta change, you gotta evolve. Like Madonna did it right. She reinvented herself 14 times. That's why she had a long career. Like you've gotta reinvent yourself. So let's talk about sports. When you're the best athlete and you're like the guy and you're like one of the top 15 players, Draymond Green, he's my buddy. Draymond really worked on his game every offseason. Ricky Rubio, the flashy point guard from Minnesota, if he developed his outside shot, he would have been a much bigger player. He had all the passing skills, the quickness, he's got everything. If instead of going to Ibiza and fucking chicks in the offseason, he worked on his 18-foot jumper, he'd be in the game. If you have ambition, your actions have to match that. And too many people are just like not putting in the work. Their mouth is way ahead of their fucking, actions. Like, really? You're gonna be the greatest NBA player of all time? Why? Because you think you got a little handle on the weekends? You need to shoot 15,000 free throws before school every day. What did you do from Friday 5 p.m. until Monday 7 a.m.? I'm just curious, and I don't think you shouldn't have a weekend, but I think everybody's ambition actually is more predicated on their actions than their words. My friends tell me all the time they're so ambitious, and I'm like, if that's true, then you punt leisure, and you punt concerts at Jones Beach, and you work. I realize what's going on here. One life. I realize that I'm living like this is our only at bat, and most of you aren't. People fucking walking around here like they're coming back. People fucking walking around here like they're coming back. You're not coming back. Well, listen, I don't want to impose my beliefs on others. Maybe you believe you come back. I believe you come back as a tree, or a flower pot, or D-Rock sneakers. And that blows compared to being a human. And so I'm acting that way. I'm acting that way.